on my ceiling crack, smoking killer. Like my bank account 100 racks, smoking killer. I pull up in that black on black, smoking killer. My AC on my ceiling crack, smoking killer. I wake up in this state of mind, like sky's the limit. My nigga strapped you across the line, well I'm gon' kill you. I'm focused on $1 million cash.
Yo.
Then I'm finna crash. That's the feeling.
Outstanding.
Until my
It's good
time
energy for the
burn
day.
out and my wheels
Good,
give out. These backwards
good
burn
quality
slow. Like my bills
A1
to shout. When the
Nipsey
people
Hussle
come
energy for the
fuck,
day.
they gon' steal your house.
Happy
Put your
birthday
name on them papers, they gon' fill you
to the
out.
God.
Couple moves from your quota, come fuck up your count. How you thinking bounce back when you out?
That's it. I didn't have no segue. This is a really good song. How's everybody doing? How you guys doing out there? Whenever, wherever you hear this. Hi. Welcome to yet another episode of Just a Dope Ass Podcast. Yeah, I'm really trying to get my bearings today. It is like, I think it's, I got the air on. Man, it's somewhere in the realm of like high hundreds. Let me check. Actually, let me check. I'm fucking around. It's 106. It says Los Angeles 106 unhealthy air quality for sensitive groups. Well, nigga, I'm sensitive. Cause dog, it's like I've had the air on like since I got here. I've been here for like maybe like I was running a little late today, so let's say I was here like maybe 15 minutes before, got on air and got everything started. Dog, it's like even when this visual comes up, like I'm leaking about the face. It's a lot, bro. I don't like it. Amongst I don't know, do niggas still care about global warming? Cause that shit's a thing. Fixing fucking with my shirt and shit. Like everything is just hot. Like I don't I got like uncles and grannies like the line be like, so I don't want my drawers to touch my ass. And I'm there, nigga, cause dog, like I'm just fucking spitballing saying shit right now, cause fuck man. It ain't cool. It's just not a cool level of heat. I'm not a fan. Anywho, let's try to get some focus on this goddamn shit here today. All right, let's try to get it together. But yeah, had to start that off with some good nip energy. Happy birthday to the God. Yeah, I don't know whoever, we got a diverse fan group, so I'm gonna, talk to you guys who might not be from here. If it's not important, to you guys, then, whatever. But big deal on this side. Today's a day. Today's a good, it should be a holiday. Is that a thing? Oh no, they gave Kobe a holiday in Orange County. That was nice. Yeah, I know we talked about like a couple things last week. I'm gonna probably rant a little bit before we get into that, because I felt like we covered a couple things. We also talk about like continuing what we talk about, like things that need to be. That's another conversation. That's a conversation that needs to be explored, expounded upon. So we're gonna really try to get to that today. But yeah, man. Now it's just me in here. Really. Oh shit. I don't know what it was right now, but the air finally started like circulating around the room. So I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to cool down. I think we might be out of the range of heart attack. Oh no, that's the light. My bad. If you're not watching this, it don't matter. But like, I have like the camera on as we record, and it was just like the light shining off my, lovely, fluffy, duffy, amazingly, just beautiful beard. But for 5 seconds, I thought I had some grays, and boy, when I tell you, man, my motherfucking is finna leave right now and find me some bad middle age bitch with like life insurance policy. And yeah, I'm finna it's tough out here. I was finna get my what's that shit? I was finna get my Silver Fox on. Are niggas I keep seeing commercials like you see the hair commercial clearly, like now like it's hair commercials for fucking what the fuck is that shit for, like hair growth. I was trying to think of the company. Was it Rogaine? That was a big thing. Bosley. They're the motherfuckers. Motherfuckers out here trying to do the Tory Lanez. And I don't agree with that, and just live bald, especially if you're black. It's great. Black, bald, bearded, the fucking holy trinity. But I see now that there's still niggas out here who do the fucking, what is this shit? Like the darkening shit, like the aging shit on your, I don't understand that. Cause from what I've heard out here, it's a thing when you fucking, when you're, graying and shit, like the silver fox thing. I've till now, in all of my years, I've yet to hear like a really bad thing from it. On you look online, I see like women posting every other day about it, and it be these bald. I feel like I have a great trajectory. Like there's no real fall off on the beauty that is me until I die. Like lose your hair, you get to be black and bald. And then beard guy says, you know what, man. Your hair up top is, I'm fucking with it, but I'm gonna take those follicles and I'm gonna let everything connect down there on the chin. I'm like, thanks, Dad. And now you get to be, and now it's cool to have grays, nigga. Shut the fuck up. I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it. This whole aging thing. I don't know. It's just, you gotta perspectives, man. Cause you ain't got no. I mean, if you ain't got no choice but to age, you might as well enjoy that shit. Should be fire. Listen to a lot of Gary V. Gary V will make you feel like, wow, bro, like this young shit is stupid. Can't wait to get fucking on. I got 40 more years? You know what? Gary V and Keith. I want to set this up. I want Gary V and I want Keith to have like a positivity off. Just who's the more fucking positive motherfucker in the room. You can do it. No, motherfucker, you can do it. You fucking talented son of a bitch, you. I believe in you, goddammit. I just think, we have to get that energy out there. A positivity off. Like if you was roasting a motherfucker, but positive wise. Y'all know where I'm going with this. You trying to be like, peaceful, peace and love, baby. Like, yeah, I'm more peace. I just feel like, if you're gonna compete that way. I guess that seems like a good idea, man. I like to think I have decent enough. I feel like I gotta have at least 1 to 2 good ideas for all the wild shit I might do or post. For instance, like Just a Dope Ass Podcast on OnlyFans. We're there, guys. We haven't posted any content. We're waiting for you guys to earn it. We don't want to hit you with it too much. We won't hit you with too much excessively, but just letting you know it's out there. So you should get on the ground floor beforehand, because man, when it pops, boom. Don't try to get the discount then, because it'll just be too hot in the streets. Working on followers and shit, what I'm saying? One hand, like, dicks out, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're giving you guys content on every level. Good conversation. You want to laugh. You want to be thought provoked. You want to cry a little bit. Still fucking sweating, just fucking wasting away. But anyways, fucking yeah, man. We're also giving you dicks. Just a dope ass dicks out. This is good because like DC not here yet, so but like if I make this a thing now, you just got to come and sit down and commit to it, because it's we're a unit, so fuck it. Calypso. No, y'all not paying, but yeah, man, dicks out. So I'm not letting that go, and I'm not, I'm just I've gotten a couple messages about it. That's the funny thing is I've gotten like, I'm not popping like that. It was like 3. Is this serious? Shit, maybe. Who knows? It's a lot of people. Look, the OnlyFans thing, it just seems like it's popping for people out there. Like fucking Boosie got an OnlyFans, and Boosie is now changed the game, because everybody looks at OnlyFans and the first thing they thought is like, who the fuck wants to see Boosie's dick? That's gross. But no, that nigga, a fucking entrepreneur, said, nah, man, I'm gonna be having people fuck, and then people just gonna be fucking. It ain't even gonna be me, but now I got people up. Like, that nigga really has, like, just mastered various streams of income. I respect it. And also somebody tell Zuckerberg Fluven to get that nigga give him his goddamn Instagram back. You know what? How do you lose your Instagram, but like gain an OnlyFans? Like I don't even know what I think. I haven't researched the story, but I'm trying to figure out what exactly he did that would have allowed him to lose out. Because if you transfer all your bullshit, I don't know, man. And also, I don't know why that's like a super big deal. I guess like Boosie's got like a big platform and people follow, but it's like a lot of, I don't know, because every post you see somebody like, hey, you know, lick my fucking boobs 2020 at 200 likes. So I don't know, man. Instagram, I know you're trying to be pure and shit, but for what? Because ain't none of us pure out here. Everybody's just dirt baggery, and that's that's okay. That's fine. It's perfectly fine to be a complete dirtbag, man. It's about perspective. Boosie might be using his platform to the utmost of its ability. You know, Instagram has changed. It's made a lot of differences and whatnot. It used to just be like, hey, like I'm up here to take pictures, and now put your pussy lips on live, and I'm not gonna give you $1,000, but what a life. Just throw $1,000 away for just some pussy lips. Nice, like. I'm trying to be professional. I'm trying not to get into conversation just about pussy lips. Not because I'm like super professional. You just need different perspectives in the room, because you never know where a conversation about pussy lips may go. Everybody's got a preference, and you want to know. You want to understand. You might learn something new about said pussies. You might think, hey man, wow, y'all see that? Nigga, this is gross. It's hot in here. I am looking moist on this. This is, ugh. I like how this is, I keep referencing the camera like everybody can watch it. I know it's people like, check the numbers a little bit. I know it's people that be listening, and it's just like, damn, actually this might be a good idea. Like, yeah, it's so much visual shit that you should, should take yourself on over to the YouTubes and watch. You should watch me just sit here and talk into the fucking void about any goddamn thing. I'm low-key impressed about this sometimes, because there's things to talk about, right? But I don't want to like get into them and then have to get into them, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want y'all to have to hear the same thing twice over. Like, you can hear my opinion from me and then hear my opinion again from me when I'm like, when me and DC are talking. And I got to take a poll, because I think this is at least like the 5th or 6th episode where I just get in here and just fucking wing it. And I wonder how this goes. Like, I wonder if, because, the view, like the viewage doesn't really change in my eyes, but I'd be like, nobody comments like, hey bro, like I want you to like shut the fuck up for the first 20 minutes, or should I have a direction? I'm trying to take a poll here. Like, is it just the random nonsense? Is it good? Or should I get in here and have like a setup rant? That's something. But then I gotta see, now I take that back, because then I feel like that requires me to super pay attention to something going on during the week, as opposed to like hibernating and living my life. Because then I have to really pay, so I can know like, oh, I know what I'm talking about, instead of just coming in or just have something to really give a shit about. Because I really don't. Like, I don't think I've paid it. Oh no, take that back. I paid attention to like fucking films. Like, oh, shout out to Jamie Foxx. I watched that film yesterday, Project Power, which I thought that was dope. Oh, this is lovely. You missed it. Were just, because I'm ready to put this up just to be like, have people have to see like, hey, you guys is like dealing with me fucking ranting about nothing. Like, should I come in here with a prepared rant? But I'm also like the fact that they just gotta sit here and go, when the fuck's the conversation gonna start? Like, you just go sit up here and talk about nothing? Like, yeah.
I mean, the conversation started the second you started opening your mouth.
No, but I just like I'm almost now purposely talking about nothing before
on purpose, just so
because we clearly have things to talk about. But I like to just like, nah, like you guys can get to the good shit.
Just sit here,
just sit here and hear my fucking thoughts just vomit.
But what's wrong with that? Because I mean, I think everybody else kind of does that to a degree. People go on their little rants.
I'm not gonna lie, you look very cute, very spiffy. Like,
oh, I just left the trap house, so I had to.
Nigga look like, Scarface, baby. Look goddamn Banner Boy. Like.
Hey, well, it's muggy outside. The sun is beaming. It's real hot.
Are you rapping for his birthday?
Oh,
I dig it.
a little something.
I dig it.
I mean, not for his birthday specifically, but in solidarity and support.
I dig it.
Why not? Hey. I
got a blue drink.
I have no official affiliations whatsoever. So.
Oh yeah, never mind. I take that back. Y'all niggas don't know how to take a joke. My bad. This is just a
Right,
this is a civilian podcast.
Yeah,
You niggas, I'll take that back. It was a joke. Relax.
Somebody really think I ain't never said.
Yeah, soft.
I ain't never said.
I'm not gonna. I don't know.
I ain't never scared, but I ain't never said.
50-50 because once the rumors hit, I'm like, oh, bitch, I'm knocking at the door. Like, once you niggas start making rumors that just don't make any sense, oh, nigga, it's like somebody finna cut the check. Like,
bring it on.
Yeah, I'm like, when you roll right at the door, like, yeah, because that didn't even make no fucking sense. What? Oh, yeah, yep.
Sure. I mean, why not? Everybody else in the industry did it. Chris Brown did it. He been a blood for. Never mind. Never mind.
Nobody's ever. I mean, take that back. That has been explained in perspective. I don't know, but it just makes everything more complicated. Like, man, it's.
You start getting back when you was famous, huh? Okay.
I don't know, man. Like, I want to hang out with you guys. I want to pay to hang out with you guys. But if I don't know, man. I don't know. I wasn't in the room. It's confused me for a while, just from just like and not even from like a fuck that nigga perspective. It's just like, hey, I feel like there's like everybody's got like a maybe, especially if you're from out here or from anywhere, honestly, but like especially from out here, you have like you got a little base knowledge of how these interactions work,
right? And
then you see things, you're like, hey. Why?
And why? When? How? Who?
Yeah, because like with his, I've always wondered, like, okay, if you're like not to condone it, but if you're like a Tekashi or if you're like a whatever, insert any other rap artist, and your rap is like, I am,
whatever
fuck it up.
You say, I am.
Yeah, and I got, but I don't need the nigga that told me that he was gonna take these women down. I don't need you to gangbang. I don't like, we was running it a couple years ago, sir.
But supposedly within the game, there are real R&B dudes that serenade your chick that was really thugging, and they're not trying to act like. Supposedly, Jagged Edge was really out here knocking niggas upside the head.
Well, here's the thing.
And never tried to perceive themselves as such.
The ones who are really, really, on a consistent basis, you'll hear them, doesn't matter the age or the fucking generation, it's like, look, niggas did what they had to do during, from their circumstances, but what I would never tell a nigga to like, oh yeah, this is fun. Like,
yeah, not at all.
I live here, and in order to survive in a space where I could either be this dude or this dude, I chose to be this dude because I felt like this path had, power, security, safety. Like, there's reasons behind it.
Right.
If you are like, and you're not even, fuck that. Like, it's not even like, oh, your life is good. You're a millionaire.
Right.
Like, not that, oh, I got like, I got 1.5 million in the bank. I got like 2 million liquid.
This ain't no Larry H. Parker commercial. You got bread.
It's like, oh, you're
wealthy
rich as fuck. Yeah, I don't know.
But we're also two people that we do have affiliations, not with like gangs per se, but with educational social groups.
Yeah. Street fraternities is what good brother Killer Mike would say. They are, and every time like I hear Killer Mike talk, it ain't even just like, oh, he knows a lot of information. Just the way the nigga put shit together, because I'm like, that's not even like you can make a good argument. I was like, that nigga right. He's like, if you look at it, man, he's like I remember, in school, in college, you join fraternal groups. And I had a friend of mine. We had finally just finished. We're done. It's like, yeah, Frost, amazing. I go back to the dorm, and I'm feeling hot shit. Like, I'm feeling like and he's like, so it's cool, man. I'm like, hey, he's like, that's dope, man. Y'all cool ass gang. I was like, we're not a gang. I was like, shut the fuck, we're not a gang. Why would you say that shit? He's like, y'all a gang, though, kind of. Like, if you think about it. And he was dead. He wasn't even trying to be a dick. I was like, nah, man, he's like, y'all got colors, right? Yeah. And he's like, y'all got calls and signs and shit that only you can do? I was like, yeah. You have a specific part of this campus and even other campuses that really only you can go on. And nobody can, like, or it'll be a problem. Like, I've seen y'all, it'll be a problem. I was like,
Yeah.
And he was then this was the worst part. He was like, crazy thing about it, man. He was like, y'all took way more time than usual because he's like, nigga, you know, you could jump in a day. And I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
okay.
That's a very difficult argument to try and.
Like, I know everybody in their mom are like, we have connections, jobs, and a lifelong, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well.
They do too.
I'm like, yeah, you know, like, shit, you said you talked about Baby like a week ago. And like, you know, you said, hey, Lil Wayne. Like, well, assuming like they were all the same side the entire time, they're big bloods now. So that's where I'm at right now. Like, them niggas be taking care of each other.
Right. Even
hip-hop.
in the corporate world, there's people that, you know, they used to be in the streets back in the day and they are so and so of said company and they bring people up with them. Like,
that's called the cartel.
well, I mean,
Them niggas are serious.
whatever you want to call it,
Their
it
business
exists.
Their business model is flawless.
Well, that's because if you are flawed, they are
Yeah.
going to flog you.
Yeah, their shit is flawless. It was like I was watching. I didn't finish it. I go back, but like you know that movie that came out called the Tax Man or whatever. And I don't know how Shia LaBeouf has got this off, like, because Shia LaBeouf is working with like in the movie he's working with like the cartels and shit. I'm like, Shia LaBeouf's not Mexican.
Not at all.
I didn't get deep in the movie yet, so I don't know if that like becomes a theme. But like he's like the nigga. Like you send him and this other dude to fuck shit up, and I'm like, Shia LaBeouf's not Mexican.
Is he supposed to be in the movie is the question.
He in there, and he's a big piece doing
Oh,
a
man.
lot of big shit. Like I put a fucking death to your death. Like it's a lot of murder shit.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, you know, them motherfuckers out here, and it's really like, you know, put a suit on and act accordingly. We're a business, you fucking child.
Or we kill you.
Yeah, Teresita. Like them niggas, like yeah, man, like. It's crazy, like niggas like Pote exist, and like I know if you saw like a nigga like Pote like with the mutton chops,
Right.
you might try to make fun.
Nah.
Like, I mean, not us, like you,
Yeah.
but like, you know,
Right.
look at his like them
Nah.
niggas exist and are fucking like,
It would not be in your best interest.
like, yeah, I don't know, like just the level. Funny thing is, this is gonna be a hard lefting conversation, but funny thing is like them niggas be like, not like, oh, you know, like you know, nigga, like, oh, I'll shoot him or I'll whatever. Nah, man,
Nah.
them niggas be like, wow, like I'll really. You know, I was reading this in a book. You know, they used to like take your skin and just like the whole back, just whip it out like a towel. And a nigga would do that shit. Y'all niggas don't know. I'm not fucking. I don't even like outside. I love being in the house.
Like you wasn't outside. I wasn't trying to be.
Nope.
Nah.
I wasn't even out the room. Fuck outside. I wasn't outside the living room.
I was in the backyard in a controlled environment. If I stepped outside, you better be ready when you step outside.
That's a lot.
And I'm back to the stoop.
Stoop Kid. See, you respect Stoop Kid
Stoop
now. Stoop
Kid.
Kid had a point. Stoop Kid was afraid to leave his stoop because y'all was bullshitting in the street.
Like, I'm cool.
Yep.
I'll be right here. Y'all know where to find me.
Right
I
on
know
the-
what's going on, and I don't want no parts.
You know, you fuck with the stoop. That's it, though.
Yeah.
On your ass.
You come up here, I'm on your ass, boss. But other than that, nah.
All right, people. We promised you that there was going to be some continuation. Yep. Fucking
Hard
Nah, man.
left. Bust
Not
a
even,
bitch.
not even Dominic Toretto because he had muscle cars. That was a Brian O'Connor because he had like the nice tuners and shit, and they were drifting.
Are we going to go backwards? You going to do the backwards drive, or you going to do the drive without looking at the road? Which one you going to do?
Did he do both of those?
I believe he did both of those.
Did he do them? But did he do them both at the same time, or was the backwards thing?
That might have been the same movie in the same scene. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
Whichever one. I ain't gonna lie. If a nigga did that, I was like, you know, you don't owe nobody nothing. But I was watching that. I was like, you gotta at least get that nigga a hand job. That shit was smooth as fuck, man. Like you ain't got fucking, but you should touch his dick because that shit was cool. So all these weirdo looking cars and colors and shit, I wouldn't pick that color myself. But if a nigga drove some shit like that, be like, hey man, touch that nigga dick, bro. If I was in the backseat, I'd be like, hey man, I ain't even. You touch that, hey man,
right.
touch that shit. I know it's a high speed chase, but you better grab a ball. That was fancy. And fucking Tyrese just shirtless for no reason. Whatever.
That's when he was tough. He got soft in the rest of the movies. Tyrese became himself.
What
in
do
the
you
rest of
want from me? I'm sorry. All right. So last week we had a couple, like, actually not even last week, like on Thursday, like fucking last week.
2 days ago.
Yeah, like last week tonight. Anyway.
On the next episode.
Yep. It was, it was a lot of relationshipy shit. And I'm trying to think where to even start. I know, like, even Jackie posted, like, she liked that dependency or love line, which is the true thing. I think, like, you know, not this, and this is not to say that people don't know what love is, and they're not in love, and
they don't.
There's a lot that don't, and people have, like, you know, I feel like their approximation or how they enact love is really just dependency on needing a person to make you feel. Yeah, make you. I don't know. You like you identify with relationship. I am such and such boyfriend. I am such and such husband or wife, and it's like, no, you're an individual, and if you enjoy this person on your own journey, in your own space of I love myself, and this person kind of complements that, and so on and so forth, cool. But if it's like, I can't function if we're not in, that's not love, man. You need to go get help a little bit.
I can't function if we're not in this particular dynamic.
Yeah.
Not that if I can't have you, because some people say I have to have you in my life at some capacity. Now, when we have these discussions, there is a broad spectrum of where people can fall in these areas, but some people can say, you know, I love you so much, I have to have you in my life regardless. At least that's a little bit more rational, I guess, because you're willing to bend or break in certain areas.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that could be, I think, looked at better. Like, right. You have this person and you're giving this person freedom and space to, oh, you know, we still vibe, but I'm not confining you to any, I guess, set of rules, right, or whatever.
As opposed to, I love you so much, I have to have you in this way, or I just don't want you at all.
Yeah. I mean, if that's how you get down, I guess, you know, for you, but that's really, I don't know. It heavily flirts with the idea of being like possessive. Dependency, yeah, like, you know, like I need you right here at all times. We need to go and clip our toenails together and all this other shit. And like, yeah, like, you know, like, a motherfucker go like, hey, you know, I'll see you in a couple days or whatever. And, you know, like, just in this scenario, ain't nobody going to fuck around. This is probably somebody just going, I'm gonna see you in a couple days. Like, I just, you know, I'm going wherever the fuck I'm going. Like, and you go, so you don't wanna. That's at some point. There's, because every time, you know, you see this shit on, you know, TV or media or shit, it's always, you know, packaged like, this is a terrible person, they must not like you, they must hate you. And it's like, no, that person could, like I said last week, like, you know, love your parents, motherfuckers love their kids, and they be like, bro, I don't want to see this nigga for like,
right.
Gone.
Please take him for the weekend.
Go to camp, go to Johnny house, get the fuck on.
If I can get rid of you for just a couple hours, I'm happy.
And this is a thing that you created that if some large winged Godzilla shaped monster stepped out the sky, you'd be like, I'm gonna fight that bitch. Like, that's how much you love this thing.
This is my thing, and I don't care who tries to kill it. Only I have the right to kill this thing.
Yeah, you'd be like, I would, you know, I'm human, but I'd punch Godzilla in the throat for my fucking kid.
Of course,
you have these thoughts, and even with all that, you would still go, I need this nigga gone for like, you know, like if just, you know, Daddy love you, but like if you ask me to put the motherfucking non-tea in this plastic non-cup
one more time,
bro, you gotta go.
One more time. Just go to, even if I can't get rid, just go to your room. Please, just go to your room and give me a second. Just a second. Yeah,
and I like, you know, and it's always, and that to me is just, I guess, the bottom foundation of this idea is like, okay, just looking at like a vehicle is a vehicle is a vehicle. Right, if you have a fucking Ferrari, you have a fucking, I don't know, Pinto, you got a truck, this is a thing, you get in this thing, it takes you to a destination. It is, you know, it's your car. Various speeds, various levels, but you respect that this is what this is. So they're all automobiles. So when it comes to love, it's like, why not look at love as this is just that. The feeling is there, we're both feeling respected. Why I guess treat love differently that you don't treat love like how you do with other things. You know what I'm saying? You don't treat love like this. You love your parents and your kids and your fucking shoes and whatever else differently. But when it comes to love with your partner, it's like, you got a motherfucking, you don't, what the fuck?
Because people really don't understand love. Like, true love of an actual individual or situation is supposed to be unconditional, right? we say love is unconditional. I have unconditional love for this, and then we apply said conditions. Like
Tons.
No, most people really love individuals or the situation they're in like they love pizza. Like, I really, really love this, and when I want it, I really, really want it. And then once I have enough of it to a certain extent, I'm going to overindulge, and then I don't want it anymore until I want it again. Like, that's not love. That's just something that you enjoy. And if that's the case, let yourself enjoy it for what it's supposed to be, and then call it a day, and then make it a little bit more fluid within the situation.
Yeah, I like, and I know this comes probably will eventually like rolls into a conversation of like conditioning and how people are conditioned to think love's supposed to work. But even like you said, like fluid, like if I didn't want to do this, if I doesn't mean I don't like pizza, and that doesn't mean also like, because I know you can hear in the back of your mind like, so you want to go get a burger, and it's like, what if a nigga just wasn't hungry?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not you, because I know like there are the worst version of this thought process is to use it as, I can't be tied down or held down, and I need to go fuck 50 different things, unless it's what you really need and want to do.
Right,
that's not like I'm not condemning that either. But that, like, you know, like any of these things, like you said, like fluid, like just people say those words, but it's like you have to be in a space where you can go, these things can give it some space to be malleable. Like you can't, you know, and I think we base things, once again, like from conditioning, you base it off of like, you know, your grandparents did like this, or like we talked about, like, you know, marriage used to come from a space of ownership and like property, but these weren't like institutions full on built out of just, oh, love. It was, I need security, I need this, I need that, and all these conditions shape how we've been taught love, but that doesn't make it correct. It's like,
right.
You know, everybody's like, main thing is like, I want to love that's like this because that's what I've seen and that's what I've whatever, and it's like, you know, I don't know if you're always taking in the pros and cons of that.
Well, in my opinion, you have to take in the cons, because a lot of people approach love based on their feelings, and in my opinion, which you can agree or disagree, I really don't care, love is not supposed to feel good. Love is a choice. It's not a feeling. I love this thing so much that I choose to dedicate time to it, even when that time is not available, or even when it's not comfortable for me, or even when it's not beneficial for me. I am dedicating myself to love this thing no matter what. Just like your children. Your children get on your fucking nerve. I still love you. I want to punch you in the throat, but I love you. And I'm not going to punch you in the throat because I love you. And as a matter of fact, because I love you and you're getting on my nerves, let me find out a different way to help you relax or calm down, or whatever the situation is. I am making a cognizant choice to make myself uncomfortable in some areas for your benefit, and hoping that you will reciprocate the same. Matter of fact, I'm trusting that you'll do the same because I know that there is love. Most people are like, this feels good and I want it. That's not love. That is a feeling. That's an emotion. Feelings and emotions are temporary. They're flighty. They're not concrete. I can love pizza right now, eat a whole pizza, and hate pizza because I just gave myself a fucking stomachache and I don't want to see another pizza for another. Those are feelings. They're going to change 24/7. But when you choose to love something, you stand in it regardless of how it's going to benefit you or affect you, regardless of what the consequence is. And that's not a negative connotation. Most people think consequence is negative. Consequences is positive or negative. Whatever the consequence is, I'm choosing to be here.
And even what you said, like, even like unpacking or maneuvering around the concept of unconditional love, like unconditional meaning, like, you know, like, oh, I'm just gonna stay here, like, you know, people take that negative, like you just, one, it's either possessive, like you're going to stay here to the bitter end, and you're going to just stay here and be fucking miserable, as opposed to unconditional means you just love this person or love this thing or love this whatever because of what it is.
Right.
You don't, like, you know, if I'd love you, I love you like a brother.
Right.
I don't love you just because you're in the station. Loving you at home.
Right.
Love you when I don't see you for 2 weeks. I love you when we go out and hang out.
Right.
So, and it's not, and like I know I touched on this last week. It's not like, oh shit, I didn't see this motherfucker 2 weeks. We're not fucking friends anymore. Right. This nigga. I'm like, I just, you know, when I feel like, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it should be some at least thought about or approach. Like, all right, just because I'm, like you said, the possessive thing. I think people kind of put on the fact, oh, we're just so stuck. This is love, and it's like, nah. If you have. To me, I think like that's even a better test. If you can be away and be whatever, and you go, goddamn, what the fuck this motherfucker doing? You have time to go like, oh yeah, I really do like miss or whatever the fuck.
Right.
as opposed to just like, oh, we up under each other and now we're like, this is love. No, y'all just kind of like dependent and don't know how to be alone.
Of course. I think people treat it like Larry. Like, I forget the name of the book, but Larry and George. Like, which way did he go, George? People treat it like Larry. Like, I love the bunny rabbit so much. It just makes me, you love it so much that you end up killing it.
Damn, I can't.
You read the book. I know you know. Yeah,
we
and
all
you saw
read
the
that
movie.
Yep.
We think we love something so much that we have to have control of it, that we have to hold it close to us, and we're not even being cognizant of what that thing needs or how much pressure to apply or how to properly nurture it. We just want it close to us because we want it close to us to the point to where we destroy it.
Now, sometimes I think that can also come from a love space of like insecurity or fear that if I let this thing go, it won't come back.
Most definitely.
As opposed to like, once again, like nothing, I don't know, it's just like nothing else in your life that you love do you treat like that, because you're trusting in that, oh, love is a thing. Like, we gonna take, you take not even space, like you're just gonna go whatever, nigga, because love is here, and so we're always gonna be connected. You'll always be in this loving space,
right?
And you have to give, like, you have to give like love space to kind of be free. You can't
let it be free and grow. Like, people love their pets. People love pets more than human beings sometimes, but you still put that bitch in the yard, and if he gets out, you know that he's gonna come back. You still gonna put some food out for him. I know he know how to get it. He know how to get out the yard. I know he know how to get back in. I'm not even about to worry about him being lost.
Yeah, and I would say even in the space of like, if people, once again, like we've brought up different examples of love. Clearly, like the conversations around relationships, but that's everybody goes to this thing. But it's like, if love is supposed to be like, once again, I really hate that you guys fucked up your ability to be good examples. But if you're like, I use the JADA and Will line, like if you're in a happy space, you are love for yourself. You are love for yourself, and we come together, and this is big, great, lovey-dovey love thing.
Right.
That can't happen if you don't have the time to go develop yourself. And as you change, you might need more space, more time to like, oh shit, I'm developing in a certain way. Not like it's all mechanical, but like you just might need whatever you need to go figure you out with you. And then once that's good, you can be able to still bring that to the collective. Like this example you use, like if we're, what's that you said? Like if it's like two trees together, we cannot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're our own separate tree. And most people think that love or a relationship is we're supposed to grow together. Like, no, we have our own trajectory as far as how we are supposed to grow. We're not going to grow as one root. We're going to grow simultaneously together on whichever path we're supposed to grow. One may grow crooked, one may grow taller than the other, one may grow bigger than the other. If you put them too close together thinking that they're supposed to be the same thing, you're going to impede the growth of the other thing. I'm growing so big in my situation, and we're so close that my roots are now uprooting yours. And I'm fucking up your trajectory as far as growth is concerned. You still need a certain amount of space in between one another to be able to grow simultaneously together. And that doesn't mean that I'm growing 6 feet tall, so you should be 6 feet tall too. Like, no, I could be 6 feet, you may be 2. I may stop at 7, you may end up 12. Like, we don't know how this is going to go, but we're still supporting and shading one another within the same context.
Yeah, I think you definitely like people's perspective, even on, and I'm not saying this like it's not a hard thing, which I feel like it should be. Like, you should be challenged. It's
supposed to be. You learn from difficult shit. We say that all the time. Mm-hmm. If it makes you feel, lean into it. Like, if it's difficult, try the motherfucker and try to understand it.
And I'm definitely like big on this, because anytime you mention these thought processes to anybody, this is not gender specific, literally anybody about love, because niggas be possessive and weird about it too.
Most definitely.
You get uncomfortable with even the idea of half the shit we've just kind of sprinkled on, like, whoa, nah, nigga, like, that's mine, that's my lady, that's my, that's my man, that's my this, that's
it's never yours.
It's like, and then once again, like this wave of everybody posting spiritual shit, but like really living in the present, because you really don't know, like, this is somebody like, oh, we gonna get married. That person could die, like right on the flow. Like,
they could die right after you say I do and walk down the aisle and jump the room, and you just pass out dead.
Yeah, and I don't say this, and I think I definitely oftentimes I feel like when I say stuff like this, it gets misinterpreted as like not striving for love or a destination or whatever your version of that is, which is not true. It's more so of stop putting all your chips, I would say, on that, because I do feel like you miss the present.
Right.
Like you miss out on, I'm happy now. This is happy. This is good. Not to stand in the way of progress or wherever this, but also not saying that this is, like if somebody, like if you were dating somebody for being able to look at things in their totality and all of their perspectives. Like if you were dating somebody, 6 months or fucking, we've been together like 5 years, and then it like falls apart, and everybody always goes, that was a waste of fucking time. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was a learning lesson. It's only a waste of time because you're viewing it as a waste of time. You are choosing to perceive it negatively. That's your fault. Nobody else chooses your reaction to the things that you encounter in your life. That's all you. Regardless what the situation is, what the relationship is, you are choosing to perceive it a certain way. Now, you can choose to perceive it for all that it is. You can choose to perceive it for all that you want it to be. You can choose to communicate with the individual or the situation. You can choose not to. Like, all of that is a choice. The entire concept of love, going back to what I said, it's a choice. You are choosing to do this. I don't have to do this shit. My life is going to continue regardless. Yours is going to continue regardless. Are we choosing to interact in each other's lives in a particular way? And if we are, how are we choosing to do so?
Self-sufficiently. Because if you come, I don't think that it's good or sets up for, even if you and this person on paper have like a lot of things in common, I feel like a thing that could definitely break the camel's back, and it probably could be deemed as positive going in, or people view it as like, I really, really want to or love to be in a relationship, and it's like you're heading in this already with a level of dependency and expectation, like,
right,
as opposed to just be like, I'm really happy as me, and I'm also happy bringing this part of happiness into my life. But
right.
If my whole life and identity is built upon us being together, then even, I don't know, like if it falls apart, you're fucked. If it's good, I feel like it might not ever be good enough,
right?
Because you're like, why is it not, like, your whole identity cannot be wrapped up, even, and like I said, like, even once again, to bring it back to other people, you love your parents, you love your kid, your whole identity is not wrapped up in them. You are still you, an individual on your whatever journey or whatever.
Right. That's why I think it's stupid, like when we have the sayings of, I'm looking for a relationship, or I'm looking, like you're approaching it with an expectation already. You can't have an expectation of something of which you do not understand. I can't. It's like fanatics of teams approach the season as, we're going to take it all this season.
Who gonna beat them?
Just because you took a look at the roster, you ain't seen nobody practice. You don't know these people individually. You don't know anything, but you're willing to stake your claim that we are going to do it this year. Browns fans and Raiders fans say this shit every year, when traditionally, has that ever worked for you? No. So why are you approaching this with a certain expectation? Now, that's not to say don't be hopeful and don't look for the best and enjoy the positives, but you have to be reasonable within a certain situation. Let me say that we're going to take it all after we've broken 500 and had a certain amount of wins underneath our belt. Let me see how we're going to perform before we do this. But again, that takes you having to learn and understand somebody else, and people don't understand that they need to do that. This ain't about you.
And enjoy that process. I would say that, like, you have to view, viewing these things differently. Like, if it didn't work out, it was a failure, as opposed to enjoying all the things that came of that. I didn't know how to fucking put together such and such whatever before I met, what's her name?
Right.
I didn't know how to ABCDFG before I met, Joe or some shit. So those are good things, and it's like, oh, I can apply this to my next thing. Or just another thing, because I feel like we don't give, and because we don't understand, which is fine, but approach it like you don't understand. Like, we don't understand love the same way I don't feel like people understand, like, God.
Right.
Like, you don't give this thing the complexity that it needs, like, or that it fucking deserves and that it is. So it's like, okay, me and you, we fucked up. Or, like, not to shit on any of my, good friends, but you see people who are like, I met my first love and we were fucking around in high school.
Right.
And the person you were in high school to the person you are now is a vastly different person. Different views, different whatever, is way more mature. That's how it's supposed to be. If you're not, then, it's fine. Whatever. It's not. But if you and Jessica were fucking together in high school, and it was great. This was your first love. You really, really felt this love, and it fell apart. And you like, love is trash or love is shit, and you think like this is done. And you meet Jessica like 8-10 years later. That's a whole new relationship. Like, just because this fell apart, even with this person, does not mean, I'm not telling anybody out there, if a motherfucker is fucking, giving you the people's elbow every night, then bitch, go get help. Call the cops. I'm not talking about y'all.
We got resources for that.
But if you weren't compatible, or you had a bad whatever the fuck made
Right.
you guys break up. Even the idea that like people can't not, don't take abuse, but that people can't change and traverse, and that this love, or even the idea of like soulmates or all that shit, like soul ties and soulmates. Well, nobody knows how those things work completely anyways. It's not to say that, okay, you did this, you had this bump, y'all's journey is to go whoop de whoop de whoop and come back.
Right.
And it might be, maybe your journey is to go whoop de whoop de whoop, come back, do a good stint, whoop de whoop, come back. Like, everybody's shit might not be this long straight shot.
Right.
Like,
And that soulmate could be somebody that's helping to prepare you for the person you're supposed to be with. It may not even be that they're supposed to be there forever. Because like you said, it's a process. As you stated earlier, like, a lot of people like, this is my woman, this is my look. Nothing in this life is yours. Period. The only thing that you have is yourself. As I put this in my post a couple days ago, the only time that you are obligated to is your own. You are your only responsibility. You are the only person you should have an expectation in, and even that has to be fluid. The only thing that can be yours is, say, your children. And even when you have your children, at some point in time, they're going to leave and develop their own personality and have their own life. People come into your life for a period, for a season, for whatever reason. That's up to you and how you choose to perceive it. But nobody is yours. So don't ever approach a situation like this is your possession and this is your belonging. It's not. It has its own life. Let it grow.
To piggyback off that, I think that would even that process, that thought process, I think could help to how you view how people interact in relationships.
Right.
Because if you're in the relationship and you're coming from a space of you're mine, I'm allotted this, I'm owed this time, very possessive, then anything, even if somebody really had like, nigga be like, I had like 17 reports I had to stay at the office, you feel slighted, as opposed to like, wow, man, I'm really happy that this person gave me this time.
Right.
Like, they didn't have to do that. Like,
They
they
had
got
to do
50,
shit.
and not to, once again, you people have got to, I'm always speaking to you who all just or whatever, be able to take different perspectives. Nobody's saying take abuse, take no shit.
Not at
but
all.
you, from the mind space, if you're coming, I feel like if you're coming from a space just in general in your foundation of, I am appreciative that this person is giving me time for us to interact however we interact, I feel like you probably cut down, or at least when bullshit happens, you can at least be certain, I'm really justified, because this is some bullshit. Because I know I'm not really like pressed for like you to be here. I'm not pulling for your time. So like whatever this issue is, if I'm feeling like, oh, you're not really, I know I'm really feeling away, because I've come at least, or you can try to at least know you're feeling away,
Right.
because I'm trying to come from a space of, I'm just happy that you were like in the room, like, oh,
Right.
you like, oh shit, it's been 2 weeks and you got afternoon on a Thursday and you put that for me when you could really be with, oh cool, thank you for
I
giving me
appreciate
this time.
But that's you approaching it from a healthy, positive perspective. When you have a certain entitlement in your mind, or an expectation in your mind, or you're creating an obligation that really is not a healthy obligation, that's not how you're going to see it. Because in order for us to get to know each other better, I should be seeing you X amount of times. Says who? That may be what you want, that may be what you prefer, but that may not necessarily be necessary. It may not be needed, and it may not be healthy.
That may not be true, because, Eustace and whatever,
Muriel
sitting next to each other in that dirty ass desert for 50 years.
For 50 years.
Don't know shit, don't know. I bet you if you took Eustace's glasses off, you wet up a nice good piece of dirt, wouldn't know her pussy from a hole in the ground.
At all.
Don't know each other. But you might have just clicked with somebody like, oh, you met this, you guys go to the same fucking, I don't know, sandwich shop every Thursday. And like every Thursday y'all have lunch. And every Thursday having lunch, y'all be talking about ABC 1, 2, 3. And you have really like, you be like, damn man, I can't wait for Thursday to come. Cause I be having good conversations with Ashley, who work up the street at the whatever the fuck.
Right.
And that's way deeper and more, or just a whole different vibe than you might get from the motherfucker that you, as my granny would say, like 2 ships on the sea with, just because y'all are in the fucking same space all the time.
It doesn't even mean that y'all heading, even say with that analogy, 2 ships in the same sea, it doesn't mean that you're going to have exactly the same journey.
Y'all might not be going the same direction.
It may not be going the same direction. You're not holding the same passengers. You may not have the same purpose. Like, all that is a little bit different. But even say if I do enjoy this certain day going to see Ashley up the street at whatever sandwich or coffee shop, like, accept that for what it is. I enjoy this conversation with this person. So when I have the ability to enjoy that conversation, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to, I like this conversation with this person, so let me try to whip my dick out and see if she wanted. Like, that's no. Like, read the room. I feel like understand there's certain boundaries to certain stuff, and certain things take a certain process. Like, you got to crawl before you walk, and some of you before you walk are hopping in the car trying to drive, and you wondering why you crashing. Like, that doesn't make sense. Let things go on a certain path. I know people like spontaneity and they want to be, let's be spontaneous, and that's all fine and great, but you can do that within the confines of a certain boundary. Some shit is not, it's not applicable to this situation right now.
Some of that sounds like entitlement too. Like, I know that I'm a good mate. I know that for who?
For who?
If you've been fucking, you was fucking James for like you was
bruh.
You was fucking with James for 8 years, and like, I was a really good whatever. That's great for James.
Right.
That ain't got shit to do with me. You got like, and that's the same for both parties. Like, you could have been like, I was a husband. I've been married before. Who gives a shit, nigga?
Obviously, like, it wasn't good enough because you're not in that marriage no more.
Yeah, you was married to her, and that whatever you knew or did good. Even if y'all was married 10 years, it was great the first 6. Those, even if it was just those 6, have no application to this woman you're talking to now. Like, you have to start at the fucking bottom again.
We all, and I think people have to decipher. Like, I think that's part of the ego that we have to address. Like, a lot of us get our pride hurt, or we get butt hurt simply because I feel like I'm the shit. Like, you should. Everybody should feel like there's something special. Now, all of us may not have, enough self-esteem, or, I've had my own struggles in my past with self-esteem or having a positive self-image. But at the end of the day, we all should feel like we have something to contribute, that we are decent people, and that we have something to provide to other people in whatever situation it is. But that does not mean that you are the right person for the job every single time. I know that I'm a great person. I know that I have a ton of qualities. I know that I have a lot of shit to offer, but I ain't for everybody. And I accept that. That's completely fine. I would like to at least, like, I focus on how can I at least get something positive out of this situation. It may not be what I want. It may not be what you want. We may not be on the same area, but how can we make this positive for the both of us and meet in the middle and at least make it amicable?
Yeah. And I would say that even sounds good. Like, if you're willing to just, for lack of a better word, like, put the game away. Like, oh, we're not playing the same game. You can put it away. I'm glad I learned this game. Glad that you taught me a few things. Cool. But if you were like, I'm a checker player and I want to play checkers with this person, but you're refusing to even try to play the game or view the game the way that they view it, you're just like, I'm a great checker player. You should play checkers the way I play checkers, and we should play checkers together. No, nigga. Like, if you're going to play with this person, then you have to adapt to how this person plays and make it make sense and hope that it merges together.
Because it has to be fun for both people. Like, we all talk about, like, say, being on a roller coaster of emotions in certain situations. Like, roller coasters are supposed to be enjoyable. You may have a scared part, you may have an excited part, you might be elated, you may have relief when it's all, whatever it is, you're going to go through a trajectory of positive emotions. So how are you making this situation positive? That's the only expectation you should ever enter a situation with, is that how am I, because that's the only factor that you can control, going to help contribute and receive something positive from this situation. That's the only thing that you can guarantee, because you can guarantee your reactions. And in some situations, you can't even guarantee that, because you might get triggered and go off on a tangent and have a mini tantrum or whatever the fuck you're going to do.
Bars.
But that's up to you. Everything else is not up to you. Everything else is not going to fall on the lines of what you are comfortable with when you are comfortable with it. Sometimes you just got to take the L on some shit and realize that L is not really an L. It's not a loss, at least. It may be an L for lesson or learning, but that doesn't mean that you've lost anything. Like, I don't regret any situation that I've never had the opportunity to have, or any situation that didn't work out how I or the other person. Like, I don't have any negative feelings towards any breakup or separation or anything that I've been through. I learned something from it. I may not be entirely like, it's all good. But I'm not gonna be 100% like, fuck you. Like,
to keep it a buck, you make the best growth from the worst things.
Right.
Like, if somebody had to, like, if I like had a time machine, I would definitely never skip any of the things that were like shitty, because I was like, oh, like, it developed pretty good from that, my nigga.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you try to, continuously reevaluate it, continuously go, oh, hey, there was a thing, or that worked for me in that space. Oh, that was a part of it. Damn, I didn't even see that like 5 years ago when I was like in it, or I didn't even see that 5 years ago when I thought I had really processed it, but now to go over it, I was like, wow. So, but you don't really learn that if everything's peachy.
You know why? Because within that concept, you're accepting accountability.
Oh, can't nobody do shit to me I don't let them do.
Right. You have to be accountable for your part. In every situation, if you can't look back at every breakup or split or whatever discourse that you've been through in your life,
it's your fucking fault.
It's your fucking fault. If you can't look at it and see how you contributed to the fuck up, you're not learning shit. If you're 100% blaming somebody else, or you're saying this or that, like, it's you.
It's I'm glad you said that, because sometimes we're like, it was my fault because I let that mother
pause. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I should have never let this nigga in the first. No,
can't believe that was dumb when we for leaving letting the bit. Relax, nigga.
That's you deflecting your accountability and trying to put them on them and make yourself to be a victim. A victimizing mentality. You're not a victim. We are never victims. You're not a victim. Accept the fact that you're not. You are an equal contributor to every situation that you go through, with the exception of some, because I don't want anybody that's going to go in left field and be like, Riddis, you're talking about rape. It's not her. We're not talking about that.
I know I'm going to do this, been doing this the whole show and every other show, but y'all going to learn this common sense shit, all right?
At some point it's going to kick in. It may not be the same for everyone.
Shut up. You know exactly the context.
You know what we were talking about.
With which I was talking.
Exactly.
Shut up.
But it's your fault, folks. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but everything that you go through, positive or negative, is your fault. You can't take credit for all the positive things and then be upset at the negatives and blame somebody else for it.
I've always said that. I've said that on here a couple of times. Like, that's the best. That's actually, like, once again, it sounds, it's complex and I guess simple at the same time, like most shit. Duality, folks. Boom. Wait till we bust that shit out. Like, but. No, yeah, like it is your fucking fault. So for me, like, once to try to make it as positive as possible, damn, that was a fucked up situation. But also, it's completely up to me all the great positive things that have happened to me and that will continue to happen to me, because control your destiny and all this other shit. Right. Like, yeah,
you are empowered. That's the number one thing I want people to understand, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your personal goals. Be empowered enough to understand, to accept accountability. Why? Because that's where your strength lies. That's where your power lies, because you realize how much control you have in a situation. The second you start to get rid of your accountability within a situation is the second that you give control to that other thing. You give your power away. Don't ever give your power away. Accept your power and realize that your power lies in your ability. You're like, you know what? I did that. Good or bad, that was my fault.
I ain't even really fucking like got to the whole part of like vibes and energy and how
we ain't even got to that aspect.
That is a whole nother thing.
That's
about
a whole nother can of worms. We gonna get to that too. I mean, we've tried to not make this a full blown relationship type podcast, but as I've said before, there's no one particular type of relationship, which that's another conversation, because people act like relationship means a monogamous situation. No, relationship is whatever the interaction is between you and that thing or situation, but we can get into that another time.
You come at my like ideals of stuff and my identity with said ideals and whatever.
How dare you challenge my norms?
So, yeah, folks, that was another one in the books, and if you think we're not going to continue to expound on weirdo shit, you're fucking wrong.
Absolutely incorrect.
Yeah. So thank you for listening, and see you guys next week. And if you thought I was gonna have anything else but some more fucking nip to go out to, then you're dumb. Go get everything. If you're not listening, I don't know, fucking go to the moon.
I wrote it down and I followed through. I bought a
Breathe it
pound
in.
and we rode the fuel. I talk shit, but she know it's true.
And
Blessings, bitches in my section.